say, welcome one and all. Ask me any questions you may have on any topic, period. I will be stretching and playing trivia games on with my Echo Alexa. Till we chat. All right, long enough. There we go. That pretty much says what I want to say. Welcome, one and all. Ask me any questions you may have on any topic. I will be stretching and playing trivia games with my Echo Alexa until we chat today. So, there we go. Off and running. For now, I'm going to just unplug and go back to the camera view. We're going to get, hopefully, a guest to join us sometime today. Would be a nice thing, I think. Yep, would be a nice thing. Here, let's make sure everybody gets a nice view of what we're up to. And we'll get going and just play a little bit of live swatter in the meantime, waiting for folks to join us today. I've decided we're going to pick a chapter today once a few folks get on. I'm going to read off a couple of options for folks once they get on board today out of the book. For those of you who don't know Zoe yet, since no one's on, that's nobody yet, but we will have some on soon. This is Zoe. Zoe is requesting attention. Zoe. Zoe wants some love. Notice the eyes are wide open in anticipation of from attention from dad, right? Is what the little girl wants. Huh. Yes, we have a papilloma that I keep pinching and will eventually come off. She gets them, she's had them every couple of years. Anyhow, I just want everybody to see Zoe because Zoe is down here looking for attention, and we'll come back and pay some more attention to her later. And of course, there are the boys. Zachary. My baby boy. Even though I call him my baby boy, Zachary's about 13 years old. He could be a little older than 13, but we know he's at least 13. Baby face. He's been with me since 2009. Zoe's been with me since 2007. Little girl. She's about 12 years old now. You wouldn't know it from her energy levels. And of course, the baby is the biggest. My Zeke. Hey, Zeke. Did you say hi to everybody? You want to talk about some emotions? This dog has got more emotions than most people. Oh, sweet pie. Mr. Zeke's. Oh, yeah, you're just a big lovey dubs, aren't you? You're just a big lovey dubs, aren't you? Anytime a dog rolls over on its back, that is full submissive permission for you to come up and pet them, touch them. Anytime a dog rolls over on its back, especially when it's like this, if your dog does this, I guarantee you the thought of biting anybody is the last thing on their mind, more like getting their tummy rubbed. Seriously, dogs wear their emotions on their sleeves. They most certainly do. So it's just standard fare. All right, well, while we're waiting for people to join me today, I'm going to go ahead and get my stretching done, which I'm going to do anyway, and play some lice water, as I like to do also, and have a quick hit on my beverage. Hit my beverage. Woo! Hey, you guys. Thanks for joining. Who's with me? Isaiah. Is that no? Issa. Issa Handel. Fan me, please. Sure, I will. Once I'm done broadcasting, I'll look at everybody who's fanned me today, and I'll go ahead and fan you back. So, yeah, you want me to do that, I'll do that. If you haven't fanned me yet, go ahead and do so. And if you have any questions, hey, hit me up. I'm going to be on here for a couple hours. Um, Personal trainer, health coach, A certified, so they usually pay me for this. My community give back for this year is I'm going to try and do a couple hours of this every freaking day. So I guarantee you I'm going to help somebody. I already have, thank God. It's a good thing. It's good for the soul. If you're a cigarette smoker, I'm helping people quit for free. So dig that. And I used to be 250 plus pounds. That was at 205. But I used to be 250 pounds, and I was a 31-year smoker. Got rid of them. So show you the picture, dude. There you go. That was 252 pounds. I know. Didn't do myself any favors. Vines that butter my egg roll. I love that. That's very creative. Good job. Fan me. I'd love to just be able to look on my fan list and see that name every day. If anybody has any questions what I'm drinking, and remember, as a health coach, one of the things that I do is nutrition training. I teach people how to read food labels, so when you go shopping, you know exactly what it is you're buying and what you're going to be putting in your body. As far as portion sizes, that's what I work on as far as helping people lose weight. Or conversely, gain weight. There's a few folks I've helped recently that needed a little advice on how to gain weight, and it's the same darn numbers, just in reverse. And take it from somebody who knows. It's funny when I got out of Marine Corps boot camp. My God, this was October 1976. I got out of MCRD San Diego. I came out of boot camp. I'd put on about 20 pounds in a little over 3 months, right? I mean, I went in scrawny. Literally, I went in scrawny. I was about 115 pounds, 5'8" in that range. So I was tall. Not real tall, but I was very thin. So over about 13 weeks, I put on about 20 pounds. Oh, I'm going to put this down, but just so you know, it's Diet Cran Pineapple. Awesome. I love this stuff. I have to go low sugars being diabetic. And those of you who are diabetic or pre-diabetic, love this stuff. And the orange juice, it's a 50-50 cran pineapple juice, the diet one and orange juice, the 50, the low sugar one that you can buy in the store now. Anyhow, 50-50 mix of the two. It looks like a tequila sunrise, and hey,
if I threw in a little bit of tequila, it probably wouldn't be too bad. I can tell you putting a little Chambord in this is very awesome, but I'm only telling you that to those of you who are 21 or older. Anyhow, hit me up with questions today. Seriously, if I don't get any questions going here fairly quick, I'm just going to start my stretching because I do want you guys up and stretching with me. And maybe we'll play some Lie Swatter or some kind of trivia games on my Amazon Alexa. Alexa, say hello. Alexa, say hello.
Hi there.
Yeah, I love these AI stuff. Let me pop on down here, see if anybody has any questions. And put my juice down. Mind you, this is really good stuff, you guys. The flavor, remember, it's cran pineapple, the diet cran pineapple, and orange juice, the low sugar orange juice. Oh, yum. Seriously delicious. Anyhow, put on my old man glasses here real quick, see if anybody has any questions. Seriously, vines that butter my egg roll, gotta fan me. I will fan you back if you want. I just love that name. That was very creative. I would love to know where you came up with that. If you don't want to tell me on here, you can, message me on any of my platforms. Anyhow, you guys, again, I'm Brad Fischel. I'm an ACE certified personal trainer and, more importantly, an ACE certified health coach. My job is to help people get healthier. And that's just all the way around. That's the entire person, physically, mentally, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, because you are an entire person. You're not just bits and pieces. So as a health coach, and I had to become a certified personal trainer before I could become the health coach. It was prerequisite. But as a health coach, that allows me to do what I do best. And that basically is help someone get back in balance. If you're overweight, you're obese like I was, you're out of balance. If you've got diabetes or prediabetes, you're out of balance. No matter what the issue, emotional, physical, it's simply a matter of getting back into balance. So anyhow, if you guys have any questions, it's what I'm here for. I appreciate everybody watching. Go ahead and like any moments. For those of you that know how to capture moments, if you find something interesting, or if you want me to do something interesting, somebody was requesting that I do the chest puller the other day, but somehow he wasn't able to get his, I guess you have to select something on the screen to capture a moment. But I've done it a couple times successfully, but kind of hard to do it when I'm talking to you guys. And I prefer to be answering your questions, especially if you're facing any challenges. For me, the more folks that I can help, on here with challenges, the more worth my time it is. They pay me for personal training to help lose weight and quit smoking. That I do for free, though. Cigarette smoking, seriously, if you smoke, that's something I'll help you quit for free. All right, well, I'm going to get up and start stretching. If you guys haven't stretched yet today, please join me. And until I see some questions pop up on the screen, I say we go ahead and play Lie Swatter. What do you think? That's a fun one. Alexa, let's play Lie Swatter.
Hi, welcome to Lie Swatter, the true or false
Alexa,
trivia game
louder.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that again. Answer truth or lie. An episode of Star Trek had Captain Kirk trapped on a planet of jazz.
Lie. Seen them all.
You seem to think this one's a lie.
Hit me with questions, you guys.
You were right. That's a lie.
Any questions? Otherwise, let's get some stretching done.
Duke Ellington's false teeth are on display at a rock and roll McDonald's in New Jersey.
Lie.
You say lie.
Rude.
Yep, that's a lie.
You can play along, you guys.
Jazz is short for jazz boning.
Lie.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie. Miles Davis collaborated with a musician nicknamed Boney J. Pickles.
True. Sounds about right. You guys join in here.
I'm having some trouble understanding you.
Repeat it.
Answer truth or lie.
Get up, join me.
Miles Davis collaborated with a musician nicknamed Boney J. Pickles.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. And you were wrong. That one's a lie.
That sounded good.
There's a WWE wrestler that comes out to slow jazz music.
True.
You answered true.
New Orleans funeral
But you were wrong. It's a lie.
That would have been good.
Dr. Jack Kevorkian released a jazz album called A Very Still Life.
Lie. That's sick.
You answered lie.
Dr. Death.
And you were wrong. It was true.
That's sick. Oh my God, that's sick.
Dizzy Gillespie ran for U.S. president in 1964.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. And you were wrong. It was true.
Really? Learned something.
Let's hear your final score. You scored 3 points. But you still
better.
seem like a great person.
Hit me up,
Would you like to play again?
Yes.
Well, hello there. It's time to play Lie Swatter, the crazy true or false trivia game.
All the way down.
I'm going to share 7 bizarre statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. In his diary, Abraham Lincoln admitted to farting during the Gettysburg Address.
True.
You say truth.
It would be great.
But you were wrong. It's a lie.
Come on, that would have been awesome. Think about it.
The term for quietly passing gas used to be fisting.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. And you were wrong. It was true.
Oh, that's just nasty.
People fart on average 14 times a day.
True.
You seem to think this one's true.
You guys play along.
You were right. It's true. James Joyce wrote in a letter, I hope Nora will let off no end of her farts in my face.
No. Lie.
You answered lie. But you were wrong. It's true.
Really? That's weird.
Dozens of people have died from suffocating on their own farts.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. You were right. That's a lie.
I mean, that'd be a heck of a way to go.
The Dutch refer to Dutch ovens as French ovens.
True.
You say truth. But you were wrong. It's a lie.
Well, why not? We call them French fries.
Panda bears do not fart.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie.
Love panda. Shout out, Boo.
Brace yourself for your final score. You scored 3 points. Lots of room for improvement. Would you like to play again?
Yes. Unless somebody has a question,
Hello.
hit me up, you guys.
It's time to play Lie Swatter, the unbelievable true or false trivia game.
Let's get our lower back.
I'm going to share 7 bizarre statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. There are 4 statues in Boston dedicated to Mark Wahlberg.
Lie.
You say lie.
Nice crack.
Yep, that's a lie. Mark Wahlberg dedicated his memoir, Marky Mark, to his penis.
True.
You answered truth. You were right. It's true.
Sick puppy.
Mark Wahlberg started a charity that exclusively assists outer city children.
Lie.
You say
Hit me up
lie.
with questions, you guys.
Yep, that's a
Stop the
lie.
game. I'd rather answer your questions.
Mark Wahlberg has a 3rd nipple.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. Yes, it's true.
Knees.
Mark Wahlberg wrote an episode of Yo Gabba Gabba.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. You were right. That's a lie. Mark Wahlberg was dropped from the Matrix after breaking his leg while breakdancing.
True.
You answered truth. But you were wrong. It's a lie. Mark Wahlberg graduated from clown college.
Lie. Let's open up the hips.
You answered lie. You were right. That's a lie. Brace yourself for your final score. You scored 6 points.
Better.
Great job. Would you like to play again?
Why not? Unless somebody has a challenging question or comment.
Hi, welcome to Lie Swatter, the true or false trivia game from Jackbox Games. I'm going to share 7 impossible-seeming statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. 3 people were killed by sharks during the making of Jaws 3D.
Lie.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie. The majority of shark attacks happen in less than 6 feet of water.
True.
You seem to think this one's true.
White tips especially.
You were right. It's true.
Yeah.
Sharks are over 1 trillion years old.
True.
You answered truth. But you were wrong. It's a lie.
I think it's more like B. Who's
A
joined us?
scientist has experimented with attaching lasers to sharks.
Hey, Mike. Paging
You
my
seem to
newest
think this
fan.
one's a lie.
Paging my newest fan.
But you were wrong. It's true.
You got to fan me, dude, just so I can read that every day.
There is no word for shark in the German language.
Lie.
You say lie.
Butter me up.
Yep, that's a lie.
If you're sitting down, get up and stretch with me.
Half of all shark species are actually vegetarian.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. There has never been a reported shark attack on a Thursday.
Lie.
You say lie.
Silly.
You were right. That's a lie.
A little bit of logic.
All right, final score time. You scored 5 points. Completely respectable showing. Would you like to play again?
We can do better. Yes. Come on, you guys.
Well, hello there.
Challenge me.
It's time to play
I don't care
Lie
what your
Swatter,
questions are.
the crazy true or
Losing
false
weight,
trivia
gaining
game.
weight, quitting
I'm going to
smoking,
share 7
getting in shape.
statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. Genghis Khan invented a sex toy involving a bee tied to a bamboo ring.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie.
I've heard of fetishes, but come on.
Worker honeybees are female.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. But you were wrong. It's true.
I knew it was one of the.
The term bee's knees was coined by the same guy who came up with cat's pajamas.
Lie.
You say lie. And you were wrong. It was true.
So much I don't know so much about.
Honeybees can tell human faces apart.
Repeat that.
Honeybees can tell human faces apart.
Lie.
You seem to think this
I know
one's a
nothing
lie.
about bees.
But you were wrong. It's
Really?
true.
That's interesting.
The bee girl from Blind Melon's No Rain video died of a bee sting.
True. Sounds just sick enough to be true.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you said. Answer truth or lie. The bee girl from Blind Melon's No Rain video died of a bee sting.
True. I'm just guessing, you guys. Who joined me?
I'm having some trouble understanding you. Answer truth or lie.
You're welcome.
The bee girl from Blind Melon's No Rain video died of a bee sting.
True.
You say truth. But you were wrong. It's a lie. There are no bumblebees in South America.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. You were right. That's a lie.
Finally, I got one right. Finally.
Bob Dylan was hospitalized after being swarmed by bees on stage.
True.
You answered truth.
I don't remember ever reading
But
the
you were
article.
wrong. It's a lie.
It was a guess.
All right, final score time. You scored 2 points. Lots of room for improvement.
Let's
Would
try
you
another
like to play
category.
again?
Sure. Come on, you guys.
Greetings.
Yep, the
Welcome
category's
to
Ask
Lie
Questions.
Swatter, the
I will
voice-activated
sit down
true
and
or
chat
false
with
trivia
anybody that
game.
has any questions.
I'm going to share 7 impossible seeming.
Stop.
Until next time, goodbye.
I'll come back to that in a minute. Since a few folks have joined us, I just want to touch base real quick. You guys, any questions you've got, doesn't have to be on issues like personal training. Things that I help people with all the time: quitting smoking, losing weight, working with chronic pain. If you have type 2 diabetes, you need to manage it. If you're on the pre-diabetes list, one of the things I like to do is to get people off that list. One of the best ways to get people off that list is to make them active. I don't know if anybody watched the press conference yesterday about our president's health from his doctor, and it was funny because I had just got done speaking with people here on this very platform on the exact topic that his doctor was talking about to the press, that the president needs to lose some weight. His BMI is close to obese. That he is too sedentary, he sits around too much. He needs to incorporate some sort of activity, exercise into his lifestyle. And his diet, they're talking about looking at that as well. And I'm laughing because I had just got done. Those are all the topics and all the subjects, that I work on. Remember, I was the guy who was 252 pounds at my heaviest, right? That was, get up, you can really get scared. That was me at my heaviest, 252 pounds. I didn't do myself any favors. I was also a 31-year cigarette smoker, and the reason that I had to get rid of, or should I say, make the changes that I made, because I got hit with a health threat, and that's a horrible way to be forced to make changes in your life, is to be, hit with a health threat, and that's actually a life threat, type 2 diabetes. So I'm talk to you about this seriously, you guys. Hola, señorita, ¿cómo está usted? Heading back down to Costa Rica here in not too long. I was hoping to bring a partner with me, but oh well. You guys, type 2 diabetes is nothing to mess with. Believe me. If you're one of the 4 Americans who are currently diagnosed with prediabetes, and that's the numbers. I mean, the numbers are actually real freaking scary. Out of 300 plus million Americans, around 330 million Americans, 30 million of us, like me, are already diagnosed. I already know I have type 2 diabetes. 84 million Americans right now are right on the line. They're pre-diabetic. So that means, you've got good news and bad news that goes along with being diagnosed as pre-diabetic. Now, I'm not talking about full-blown diabetic. I'm not talking about teenage diabetes, type 1 diabetes. I'm talking specifically about adult onset diabetes, right? That's normally type 2. That's normally, well, in years past, and the age has been going down, but that's usually related to about middle age. People get more sedentary, they start putting on weight, their metabolism slows down, they're not as active, etc., etc. I mean, so, and that funny thing is, that's exactly when I got hit. I was 45 when the symptoms hit me. And just after 46, when I got hit with the diagnosis from my doctor, I can to this day, I can still remember sitting in his office, as he's talking to me, after I'd had all my labs done. Now, remember, that's when I looked like this, 252 pounds, and I was still smoking cigarettes at the time, about a pack a day, Camel filters. And I smoked for 31 years, started at 15, quit at 46. July 15, 2005, my last cigarette. So I now help people quit for free. My give back. No, I don't charge for smoking cessation, and I am fully trained on all of the newest techniques. I went through online training with University of Wisconsin just to make sure I knew all the newest and latest things that people use to quit smoking. I used the gum, when I did it. They had just come out with the orange flavored. So for me, that worked out very well. Anybody has any questions or comments on this? Seriously, I've been talking to folks. I spoke with a lady the other day who is anorexic, We had a nice long conversation about things that she can do to improve her health. Her parents did not want her to exercise. Everybody needs to exercise. So if you don't hit me up with any questions here fairly quick, I'm just going to get up and keep stretching, and I think I'm going to chat with you about some of the symptoms that you can get if you're pre-diabetic. And remember, like I said, 84 million Americans right now are pre-diabetic. That means 1 in 4. So if I've got 8 people watching right now, then that means that 2 of you could be on that pre-diabetes list. It's not a list you want to be on, believe me. This is awesome. For those who have just joined me, it's Diet Cran Pineapple, the new Diet Cran Pineapple, the one that's the low sugar, and the low sugar orange juice mix. Looks like a tequila sunrise, but a little early in the day for one of those. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having an alcoholic beverage if you're of legal age, of course, and you don't take anything, medications wise, that would, prevent you from doing so. But a little alcohol for ladies, normally a drink a day, a glass of wine, a beer, is fine. More than that is is unhealthy. Gentlemen, usually 2 drinks a day. You can have a couple of beers, a couple mixed drinks if you want, a couple glasses of wine. That's fine. Just moderation. That's pretty much the key in everything. You want to know how I got down from 252 pounds to 142 pounds? Anybody curious about that? How in the freak did you lose 110 pounds? Or anybody curious how I got rid of the cigarettes on day 1 and have not been back since? Hit me up. Seriously. I know some of you out there are facing these challenges. There's still 45 million Americans who smoke cigarettes. 84 million of you are out there with pre-diabetes right now. And that I want to talk about here in a second because there's good news and there's bad news to being on the pre-diabetes list. Yeah, I don't care. Well, what's the big deal about people taking a drink when they're on air if they need it? I mean, good Lord. Morning Joe. Give me a break. Anyhow, if you're sitting down, stand up, Seriously, we spend too much time being sedentary. When I was in information technology, I was in computer training for about 25 years. And I blew up to 252 pounds at my heaviest, right? And I'm only 5'8", so that's not, not that 5'8" is bad height. I personally think just about the perfect height, especially for slow dancing. Yeah. But when I blew up to 252 pounds, it's not like I felt any symptoms, with gaining the weight. Gaining weight is a fairly simple formula. It really is. Every 3,500 calories that you consume, that you don't burn off in some form of energy, just autonomic functions or exercise, every 3,500 calories that you consume, doesn't matter if it's a health food. I don't care what kind of food it is. For every 3,500 calories that cross your lips that don't get burned off in some form of energy will normally turn into 1 pound of fat. Now, if you're under training, with a personal trainer, doesn't matter if it's me or any other personal trainer, if you're under training, then we are going to be working with you on a formula that allows you to put on that 3,500 calories more in the form of muscle than in the form of fat. Unfortunately, we have become a sedentary society where we sit around. I know. When I was in computer training, 25 years worth of computer training, I sat around all day, either working on the computer at my desk, sitting in my car to drive out to meetings with clients to talk about training their staff, who all sit around sitting around working on computers. Most of my day was spent sitting. And I loved my job. I mean, for those of you who know me or have read my book or have looked up my LinkedIn profile, you can find me on LinkedIn. I don't know why they don't have a link here for LinkedIn. They really should. I loved my job, and I was good at what I did in information technology. I basically put together the training programs for large corporate governments and education entities so that we got them all trained on, not just desktop applications, but networking, security, web development, databases, all the things that make an information technology department in an organization run and be successful, to make the best use of that computer or that network or that wide area network, whatever platform they were working on. My job was to put together a custom training program that fit their needs. And I loved it. It was awesome. It was always a challenge. I always had to stay on top of my game. In technology, especially, technology doubles every 18 months, literally, the progress, or at least it was until I retired from technology in 2013. Still fairly active in it, but not to the point I was. I help people get healthy, balanced, and working on book number 2. But the point is, we became a sedentary society, and over the last 50 years, the amount of exercise we do has lessened to the point where obesity right now is an epidemic in America. And, it's funny because I love America, former Marine, I'm a New York guy. I love America. I will love America till the day I die, God and country. But we laid the way in a lot of things, but this is the one that I am not proud of us to be leading the way in. We are the leader in global obesity. 1 out of 5 people around the globe are obese. 1 out of 5, okay, 20%. That's a pretty hefty number. Here in the United States, it's 1 out of 3. You get me? 1/3. I know, I was there. My BMI used to be 38. I'll show you this picture again just to scare you. And remember, if you have any questions or comments on this, please ask me. Tahar Watkins. Hey, Tahar, how's it going? This was me, okay? 152 pounds. So, unlike when you walk into most of your health clubs and health centers and most places these days, you're not going to run into somebody who's got the experience, who understands what it's like to be like this. And when you're heavy like this and you get hit with type 2 diabetes, and if, like me, you were dumb enough to be a cigarette smoker also, then you get hit with a big dose of reality all at once. My doctor simply said to me, and this was May 2005, after I'd been having some of the strangest symptoms ever, right? I mean, extreme thirst. I could not drink enough of anything. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. Unfortunately, at that time, not knowing I was diabetic and had long passed pre-diabetic at that point, I'm still drinking everything that was sugared sodas, sugared juices. I mean, I wasn't, sugared coffee, sugared tea, everything, except for probably water. I was drinking had sugar in it. So I was probably putting myself close to a diabetic coma by the time they got my numbers diagnosed, and I was sitting in my doctor's office and he's talking to me. And remember, this is me at 50 pounds heavier than this, right? Right? And still smoking cigarettes. I was waiting to get the freak out of that office just to go have a smoke. And he says to me, you got to make some changes. He says, you've got to lose some weight. You should quit the cigarettes. He goes, but mostly you got to get your diabetes under control. You have to get those numbers. And my A1C at the time was just through the roof. Normal A1C should be below 6 for anyone out there. It should be 5.4 to 6 is awesome. If you're getting up over 6, then you're really hitting up in the pre-diabetic range. My number lately has been around 6.1, 6.2. I'd like to get down to 5.8. But remember, my pancreas is only half working, and I take 2 diabetes medications every day, and will the rest of my life. But I plan on being around at least another 50 years, so I don't really care. By that point, I'm fully convinced we'll have tiny little bots that they'll be able to insert into our body and that will go and fix everything that's out of control. So eventually, I believe that medicines, medications, and things of that nature are going to start dwindling, diminishing. Fingers crossed. As somebody who has to take pain meds for osteoarthritis, bone spurs, L1 through S5, along with some other pretty hairy issues, it's in the book. I am pretty much an open book, have been for many years. You have to watch what you're taking, when you're on pain medication, especially, taking the specific same amount at the specific same time of day, and then making sure that you even set it out in those particular times. Because I have had friends, and I'm sure I've probably done it myself in the past, prior to becoming a little more disciplined with it, is taking meds and then not remembering taking meds and taking them again way too soon before you need them. And then that can become a vicious circle. I almost lost a friend due to that, and had to get her in to detox. And they almost did not wake her up that night. So it can happen. I've seen it happen. So natural substances, I fully support the use of medical marijuana. I have had my card for years. Personally, I've had experience with that for my entire life, 44 years worth. So anybody has any questions on that, to hit me up. Seriously. In pushing double nickels, I cover at least 80 different things. You can pull up the table of context on Amazon right now. Just go look up pushing double nickels. You can read the first 30, 40 pages for free. Take a look at some of the topics I covered here. Let me just show you. Since we're sitting here, let's have a look. After all, I'm here to answer questions. Something's got to motivate you. My homage, Breaking Bad. Seriously, they did an awesome job with that series. So I kind of stole it and renamed it Breaking Brad. Hey, I thought it was pretty clever at the time, What do you think? But table of contents. Just the first page on table of contents. Now, see if I can get it in close enough you guys can actually. Let me know if you guys can actually read this. In fact, if anybody knows how to capture a moment, go ahead and capture this. That way you guys can go ahead and look at it as much as you want. Try and hold it still. But I cover a lot of things. The first thing is quitting smoking. Because I smoked for 31 years, and there's no way you can get your health under control if you smoke cigarettes. Now, I'm 110 pounds off what I used to do. I was 252 pounds at my heaviest. I'm now 142. My BMI used to be 38, and that's the number that I care about the most, truly. As a personal trainer and health coach, I want to know what your BMI is. And of course, I don't care how old you are. Anybody can put muscle on. I'll take somebody who's 80 years old, and we can still put a little muscle on them. Now, we all live with some form of pain. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be emotional. There are many different kinds of pain. Do you realize that out of 330 million of us, 100 million of us suffer back pain? Me being one of them. And that led me to the fifth chapter. I was one of those guys that used to take his computer stuff, the keyboard, the mouse, monitor, and put it on boxes so that I could stand up and work. Capture a moment, guys. Fan me. I'd appreciate it. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you a look at some of the things that are covered in this book. And what I'll do today, just for fun, is I'm going to challenge you guys with a question. And if the first person that emails me at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com, pushing double nickels, same as the title of the book, at yahoo.com. That's the same email address you can use if you want to quit smoking. I'm helping people do that for free this year. Seriously, you can't get your health in order if you're still asking questions. So if you have any idea what the answer to this question is, and I'm going to get back up. Unless somebody has a question for me, I'm going to continue talking to you from up here because I much prefer to stand rather than sit. I spent too many years sitting, and that resulted in a lot of damage to my lower back. Promise you, if you sit on the job, getting up every 30 minutes to stretch and move around, your lower back is going to appreciate you for it, especially the longer you do that job. I know that most of the folks on here are of the millennials, my same age as my kids. Love you guys. I expect every millennial on this planet to live to 100 plus. I mean, the point we're at now with technology, medicinal technology mostly, we may be able to stop the aging process here before too long. I mean, imagine that. Instead of getting old and wrinkly like me, you can stay 35 years old. Now, of course, there'll probably have to be some effort involved, and those little microbots I'm talking about probably also be involved. But at the same time, once we figure out how to stop the death of the telomeres, there's these little caps on the ends of all of your cells. They're called telomeres. And as each one of the telomeres on that cell dies, and you get down to the very last one, once that telomere dies, and oxidation and all of the things of aging cause the death of these telomeres. But once the final telomere dies on the end of that cell, the cell dies. And then, hence aging. So once we were able to reverse or stop that, and that's coming. I mean, there's animals who already know how to do it genetically. We're just, I hate to say we're deconstructing our fellow life forms, but we are. The commercial we found in jellyfish, Prevagen, advertising works. They program us on television, on radio. They do. We get programmed. Who's joined us? Hit me up with any questions, you guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking help. Oh, hey, Jay, how's it going? Illegal. Russ, how you doing, Jay? It's good to see you. Hey, if you have a chance, grab a couple moments for me, would you? I'm trying to get the wall filled up. Anyhow, we're talking about today sedentary, not being sedentary, moving, getting up. If you sit working on the job, which a lot of people do, and I did for 3 decades, 25 years in computer training. But if you sit all the time, and it doesn't matter if you're on the job or whatever. I mean, I can remember, and I did it forever. I'd go into the office, I'd be there by 8. If I didn't have a meeting to go to, I'd be sitting there working on my computer until lunch, right? And if I hadn't brought my lunch, I'd go out and I'd hit Mickey D's, I'd hit Carl's, I'd hit Wendy's, I'd hit whatever. I'd get a couple sandwiches, not just one. I'd get big fries, I'd get shake and soda, sugar. I'd bring it all back to the office, schlep it in, sit at my desk, eat it, and then go back to work until 4, 5, 6 o'clock and go home, have dinner, right? Get back on the computer and work until, 10, 11, get ready for bed, whatever. So I was spending most of my day sitting, working on computers, or getting in my car, sitting in my car in LA traffic, and driving out to meet with customers, sitting in a conference room to talk about training their staff to sit around and work on their computers. Everything is based on sitting, and it still drives me crazy. Over the couple of years that it took, 2012, 2013, for them to figure out all the issues that was causing my lower back pain, because I've had some pretty nasty back pain, and I put all of the causes in my book, and I thanked my back surgeons and the technicians with the MRIs that found the issues that I suffer. And believe me, 100 million of us suffer back pain. Out of 330 million Americans, 100 million of us suffer back pain. So I identify, you guys identify, 1 out of 3 pretty much. So you guys sitting there, somebody over there, your back's hurting too. So I know I'm not alone. And some are a whole lot worse than mine. Even though I've got some pretty hairy stuff going on with my back. But again, on top of this, pain, naturally, sitting all the time, is going to increase your odds of getting sedentary lordosis.
Brad, what the heck is sedentary lordosis?
Well, sedentary, as we know, is just being sitting down, not moving. Leading a sedentary sitting still lifestyle, right? Lordosis is one of the three major conditions that the spine can suffer. You've got kyphosis, which is your humpback, when the spine leans forward and hunches, your kyphosis. Then you have scoliosis, and that can go either as an S curve or a C curve, and it can be minor or severe, right? I have scoliosis, it's minor, C curve. And then you have lordosis. And to explain that the best, imagine an old nag, an old horse that they bring out for you to ride. An old horse. And it's got that, curve, in its back like a U. That's lordosis. In humans, it pushes the lumbar forward into your stomach. It also messes up your hips and everything that you sit on. Remember, you're sitting on a tripod, right? You've got your coccyx, which is your tailbone, right? And yes, we do have tails in the womb. They come off before we come out, just so you know, as we're developing a lot. But the tailbone, when you sit down, is designed to curve under to protect the end of your spine, your spinal cord. It's designed to curve under, so to protect you. So that's one part of the tripod that we all sit on. The other two, the medical term for this is the ischial tuberosity, right? What are otherwise called butt bone. You got one on either cheek, okay? So when you sit down, that's what you're sitting on, is that tripod, your coccyx, your tailbone, and your two butt bones. And of course, everything is resting on the backs of your hamstrings, and you're pulling your hips out of place. You're not doing a lot of good sitting down. The human body, especially the spine, was not designed to sit. It's not something that's natural for us. The human spine is over 500 million years old when it initially started as, a little critter that we can still dig out of the sand, funny enough. But the human spine was not meant to be in a sitting position. Yeah, squat. You can squat all day long. That's fine. But sitting on it, with your little butt on those three little prongs, you do that for a long period of time, you get a little something called repetitive motion injury. Funny it's called that since you're sitting on your butt and you're not moving, but that's really what it is. In the work industry, workers' comp industry, repetitive motion injury is normally something that happens with cashiers and people that get the injuries with their wrist, and tennis elbow and things of that nature. Had some issues working in two for 25 years. If you guys have any comments or questions, I appreciate it. If anything I'm talking about is hitting home or has anything relevant to do with you, I'd appreciate you liking the page and fanning me. That way, when I'm on here talking about this stuff, I'm here. This is all community give back for me. Who's joined us? Hey, William, how's it going? Thomas, how you doing? Mark and Dave. Oh, just Mark, Dave. Neo. Love the Matrix, seriously. They were really starting to get creative when they came out with the Matrix. They did a really good job with that one. Anyhow, I'm here to answer any questions you've got. Now remember, I used to be a big, heavy guy myself, and now I help people get back in balance. And one of the best ways that you can get back in balance is to spend less time sitting, to spend less time being sedentary, getting up and moving. I don't care what you like to do. Seriously, the key is finding out what you like to do and then doing it, ongoing and ongoing. If you're already healthy, in other words, if you go to your doctor and your doctor says, well, your BMI is good, that's your body mass index, and you can find out right now if your BMI is good. I can tell you our president's BMI is horrible. Yeah, go pull up the BMI calculator. Just Google it, or go over to the CDC website, cdc.gov. Just Google it, body mass index calculator, and put in your height and your weight, right? President Trump's height and weight, he's 6'3" and he's 239 pounds. I was watching the news conference yesterday. He's obese, or he's right on the line. He's where I was. I was obese. I know. My BMI used to be 38. It's now 22. Minor difference. Again, I'll show you the scary picture. 252 pounds. And still smoking cigarettes at this point. I did not do myself any favors. Hey, Dave. Go ahead and fan me if you haven't yet. I'd appreciate it. Trying to build up an audience. I'm going to be doing this all year, you guys. My goal is to give away as much free information on this stuff as possible. We have an obesity crisis right now in America. We are leading the freaking world in this. I was saying earlier, right now, 20% of the population of this planet is overweight or obese. In the United States, it's 67%. Are you with me on this? 2 out of 3 of us are where I was. 2 out of 3 right now. So we're looking out of 330 million Americans, over 200 million of us are currently obese or overweight. And that is causing the other epidemic that we have happening right now, and that's the prediabetes epidemic. I mean, think about it. 1 out of 4 people is currently a pre-diabetic. 1 out of 4. I'm watching if you guys have any questions or comments so I can answer them for you. Seriously, 1 out of 4 Americans right now has pre-diabetes. And a lot of that has to do with being sedentary, sitting around too much, not putting in the hours that are required to keep a balanced life physically. Because remember, balanced life is not just physical. It's not just having a good BMI. If you're going to be balanced, you've got to be balanced all the way across the board. Physically, yes. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, you need to cover all the bases. You know, you're not just part of a person, you're an entire person. You have a complete list of tools, if you will. But your body, the way I look at it, that's your vehicle to get you around. And look at it like this. Your vehicle is like your car, right? You want your car to last, you got to do maintenance. You got to change the oil and lube, and you got to do filter, you got to do belts, tires. I mean, you literally have to take good care of your car if you want it to function properly and you want it to last. The human body is exactly the same thing. Fortunately, we're even more malleable than a car. Easy. Why? You can make changes at any age. Remember, at 45, I was 252 pounds. I put the picture in the book. I did. I put the picture in the book so everybody could see. Because to me, explaining to you guys that it's never too late to make changes that are going to make a positive difference in your life, it's never, ever too late. There was a gentleman on here the other day who was telling me about his dad who's overweight and still smokes cigarettes, but thinks it's too late to do anything because he's 55. What? Huh? I don't care how old you are. 60, 80, 100-year-old person can make positive changes. Physically, for sure. I mean, all of my clients that I have lose weight, that are on the track for losing weight, I have them do light resistance training, with weights. Now, when you're losing weight, one thing you don't want to do is lose muscle. You don't want to lose muscle, and you don't want to lose bone. Ladies, as you age, you have the tendency to get osteoporosis. One of the best ways to combat osteoporosis is exercise. So finding what you like to do is going to be a key in making sure that you become balanced physically. And being overweight, being out of shape, getting your numbers not where they need to be at your doctor's office is simply a matter of being out of balance. If you're gaining weight or you're overweight and you're putting weight on, that simply means that you're consuming more than you're burning as far as calories go. It is a fairly simple math formula. I work with people all the time on it. I repeat it on here, and probably I sound like a broken record. For those of you out there, millennials, who aren't familiar, I'm just kidding. I get in trouble sometimes with my own kids picking on them about this stuff. But when I'm talking about losing weight, it is simple formula of making food. I mean, the formula for being healthy overall as a human being is pretty simple too. I mean, it's 75% your diet, what you put in your system, and 25% what you do, your exercise levels. That's the balance for being healthy. Whether you're overweight, whether you're at weight, whether you want to gain weight, it doesn't really matter. Those are the numbers that are key for you to look at and watch and work with, whether it's with a personal trainer or health coach like myself, or on your own. And there are plenty of resources out there. And of course, I plan to be here pretty much as often as I can to answer questions. So if you have any questions on losing weight, quitting smoking, that I'll help you with for free. Anything dealing with lower back pain, chronic pain is something a lot of us deal with. Diabetes, any of the questions that you have, you can just go ahead and put on screen. And if you go ahead and follow me, that way you know when I'm on here and you can go ahead and join. I'm also looking for anybody who wants to co-host today. So if anyone would like to co-host, just put a little note up here and we'll get you on screen. Maybe you can tell us what's going on with you, and we can see if anybody wants to, share some information and share their stories or experience with us as well. As you know, Extract, how you doing there? Cookie Monster! Love the Cookie Monster. Welcome, you guys. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Fan me so you know when I'm on here jabbering at you. If you have any questions, it doesn't have to be on personal training or health coaching or anything along those lines. Simply could be on anything that's going on in your life right now. Share it with us. I'll sit here and yabber at you about it, especially if I know it well. Right now, I'm talking about losing weight and getting in shape and becoming more balanced. What it takes to become balanced. So what I was saying is to be an overall healthily balanced individual, 75% of what you concentrate on is what you put in your body. I'm not always talking about quality. Initially, I'm talking about quantity. Because every 3,500 calories that you put into your body that you do not burn off with some form of exercise or daily autonomic functions, that turns into a pound of fat. Especially if you are leading a sedentary lifestyle, if you sit on the job all the time, if you, like me, sat in computer training or whatever, I did it for 25 years. If you sit around all the time and you're not getting in the amount of exercise that is at least recommended, and what's recommended, and this you'll find on any website, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and pretty much every athletic organization, including ACE. I'm an ACE certified personal trainer and ACE certified health coach, and we are the only ones who are HIPAA regulated, by the way. But we all recommend the same things. If you're already in shape, if your numbers are good, and you're under 50, 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise 5 times a week, 150 minutes is what is going to keep you on track for staying healthy and getting the movement and activity exercise level minimum that you need. That is if your numbers are already good. And what numbers? These are all the ones that you should be finding out at your doctor's office every single time that you have a visit, you get labs done, and at the very least at your annual physical. These are all the numbers that I want to know from my clients before we start. So all of my clients I require have had a recent physical. They don't have to tell me all the specifics, but at least the important numbers I want to know. The BMI, their body mass index, I can figure that out fairly easily, their height and their weight. You can too. Go Google it right now, BMI chart. And you can figure out what your body mass index is and find out if you're in a healthy range. In fact, go Google President Trump's height and weight, 6'3", 239 pounds. And somebody come back on here and tell me what the BMI is. Seriously. So 6'3" tall, 239 pounds. Go ahead and put that in on the chart somewhere, and somebody pop back on here and tell me what our president's BMI is right now. So I can tell you what my BMI is when I was 252 pounds and 5'8". And that's a lot shorter than our president, but I was heavier. So it meant I was bigger. And that was 50 pounds heavier than this one. Okay. So this was just a little over 200 pounds. Okay. At my heaviest, I was 252 pounds. I'm now 142 pounds, and that is my, if you will, fighting weight. That is the weight that I feel that my body says I'm comfortable at. And that's just about accurate, because when I was 17 and 9 months coming out of MCRD San Diego boot camp, I came out a natural lightweight at 135 pounds. So when I was 17 and fit as a fiddle coming out of a Marine Corps boot camp, I was 135 pounds. So here at 58, 59 in a few months, I'm only 7 pounds off that weight now. But between then and now, 135 up to 252, okay, and then back down now to 142, and I plan on staying 142, or generally this weight forever from this point on. Well, let's put it this way. For one thing, as a personal trainer and health coach, you certainly wouldn't hire me if I looked like that anymore. I mean, right? I wouldn't be very convincing. Oh, yeah, I can help you lose weight. You wouldn't exactly have followed up on that and go, oh, yeah, let's contact this guy. He's a big help. No. For a personal trainer, and especially for a health coach, because we encompass everything, nutrition, diet, exercise, your mental well-being, your spiritual well-being, the entire body, and psyche. For me, I'm as concerned about how you feel about exercise as getting exercise done itself, because that's really a key. If you hate exercise, if you're one of those people, oh God, I don't want to exercise, if you already have that set in your mind, then yeah, you're not going to be looking forward to it. Our president's that way right now. He's not looking forward to the exercise program that his doctor is going to make him do. I'll be real interested to find out what they make him do. Anybody have any questions or comments? I'd appreciate it. French. I can't even say that one. Vermois. French River Moi. Oh, French River Moi. Okay. Takakisaya. Takakisaya. I spent it's about a year and a half in Japan, actually, stationed in Okinawa. I have a great respect for the Japanese. So, funny, lived in Germany for 4 years too, and you learn a lot of a language when you live in that country. But if you don't maintain it, if you don't keep it up, you lose it. I can still remember some of the German, and as I speak with a friend who lives in the area who is German, now I have the ability to remember some comments and things in German and some phrases. It comes back to you. But once you learn a foreign language, if you don't keep it up, you will, it does fade. We have the ability to learn languages at any age, and it's amazing what we can fit in this brain. But again, just like being healthy, just like being balanced, just like maintaining a specific weight, it takes effort. One of the things that I talk to people about all the time, and this is so true, especially this time of year, everybody's looking for a quick fix. Everybody's looking for the quickest, fastest way that they can take off the pounds. That's their goal. Lose weight fast. Every commercial you see, the Weight Watchers and all of the diet plans in the South Beaches, and they all say the same thing. Lose 57 pounds in 12 seconds. I mean, they're literally, that's their goal. Well, their goal is to sign you up for whatever their program or food plan is for life. Maria obviously gets her stuff for free. She lost 50 pounds about 50 years ago, but she's been on TV hawking this stuff ever since. Lose 10 pounds fast. I don't want my clients to lose weight fast. That is the exact opposite of what I tell them. First of all, remember, you didn't gain weight fast. Nobody gains weight fast. I did not get up to this fast. It happened over a period of time.
And the funny thing is, you don't see it coming. I mean, even when you're like this, and this is 38, 40-inch waist, that back then was a 44, 46-inch waist, about a 32 now. But you don't see it coming, and if I hadn't started getting those symptoms for type 2 diabetes, which is what I got hit with, I was basically just fat and happy, still smoking cigarettes. I didn't do myself any favors. From age 15 to 46, I had a pack-a-day cigarette habit. Even, stupidly enough, they didn't let us smoke the first 8 weeks in boot camp, smartly enough. But stupidly enough, when they did, there were those of us that went outside and started smoking again. And the horrible thing is, after 8 weeks, it's long out of your system. I mean, it only takes 2 weeks to get nicotine out of your system. I do it for free now. I help people quit all the time. That's one of the things, my give back. If you're a cigarette smoker, one of the 45 million who still smoke cigarettes, I'll help you for free. Email me at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com. Just reach out to me on any of my social links here on this page. There's a million ways to get a hold of me. Go on my Facebook page for Pushing Double Nickels. That way you can reach out and message me there as well. But you want to quit smoking? I will help you quit smoking for free. That's one of my give backs this year. There's no way that you can get your health in order. There's no way that you can begin to get your health in order if you're still smoking cigarettes. Now, I'm not talking about marijuana. Marijuana I fully support. Marijuana is safer than alcohol. It's safer than tobacco. Now that they've legalized it in California for people 21 and older recreationally, fine, as long as it's used responsibly. Medical marijuana for 18 up. You still have to have a legal guardian or someone get it for you, 18 to 21, but medicinal marijuana is available. If you're one of the 100 million people who suffer lower back pain in America, out of 330 million of us, and this includes me, 100 million of us suffer lower back pain. I've got osteoarthritis with bone spurs, never mind the lordosis and scoliosis issues, and you don't even want to know what's happening with my tailbones and my coccyx. Bottom line though is, we all live with some form of pains. One out of 3 of us are currently suffering back pain. But there's other kinds of pain, other kinds of neuralgia. And there are all kinds of people that are out there having to take medications to deal with it. Everything from pain to anti-inflammatory medications. Everyone has to deal with the pain in a specific manner. The best thing to do, obviously, is to follow what your doctor prescribes, what your doctor offers. I say you speak with your doctor about medicinal marijuana if you haven't already, if you don't already have a medicinal marijuana card, but you are dealing with pain and having to take pain medication. For me, the ability to have medicinal marijuana allows me to take less pain medication, allows me to do things like stand here and talk to you for hours on end on how to become more healthy and balanced. What motivates me to get out every day, 6 days a week at least, and do my cardio. Bottom line, and I'm going to get back to this, I know what it is that I enjoy, that I can do every day and for the rest of my life to help keep me healthy. And that's, again, I'm talking about everybody sitting down all the time, being sedentary, and we're all getting overweight because of it. Who's joined us? Oh, few words slip. Howdy doody. Reneth. That horse. Which horse is that, by the way? Love horses. Smart animals. Horses are very intelligent, and not just intelligent, but emotional. Seriously. I don't know if any of you have ever been close with a horse, but they are very emotional animals. I mean, even more so than some dogs in some ways. Funny enough, they really do get their dander going. Anyhow, being sedentary, sitting around all the time. If you're sitting down, get up. One of the things I always tell people is there's a lot of things that you do now sitting down that you can do standing up. Watching TV. I watch a lot of my television now standing up. I've got my television so I can see it from my kitchen and my dining room, and I have a high table, not the low table, but the high table with the high chairs. I can just push the chair over and I can stand there and eat. I do not have to sit and eat. It's a wives' tale that you have to sit down to eat. It's always good not to be running around, while you're eating, but you don't have to be sitting down. You can stand up and eat. Now, talking about eating, and this is what seems to be the biggest issue in America right now. Eating problem. People are eating too much. They're eating portion sizes too large. They're sitting around too much, and they're putting on a lot of weight. 1 out of 3 Americans right now is overweight. This was me, overweight. 1 out of 3 Americans right now is obese. This is me, obese. Hang on. Obese. Get those. So that means 2 out of 3 Americans right now are either overweight or obese. I've been in both situations. I would not be in the situation I'm in right now as far as being able to talk to you had I not made some changes in my life and lifestyle that allowed me, one, to take off 110 pounds, because that's what I've done, 252 down to 142, and I didn't start till I was 45. For me, it was a scare, literally a scare. Anytime the doctor tells you that you might lose some fingers and toes or your eyesight and eventually you can die if you don't make some changes, at 252 pounds and still smoking cigarettes, I got freaked. What are you going to do? Seriously. I got hit with full-blown type 2 diabetes. So I had to lose the weight. I had to quit the cigarettes. I had to make the changes, the lifestyle changes necessary so that I could even be here right now. Quite convinced if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking to you about this. Any questions, you guys, hit me up. If you haven't fanned me, please do so. Hey, Judy, how's it going? Few words loop. Walk silently and carry a big stick. Anyhow, bottom line is, if you're sitting, I prefer you not be sitting too much. If you sit on the job, you need to get up at least every 30 minutes and stretch. Do your lower back a favor, literally. Don't do what I did, and that is pretty much ruin my lower back, being sedentary over many, many years in computer training and computer IT. Now, as an ACE certified personal trainer and ACE certified health coach, I help people lose weight, get in shape, and get their balance back under control. Everything in this life is about balance, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, intellectual. Everything is about being balanced. If you're overweight, if you're obese, like I was, you're out of balance. If you're having issues with your blood sugars, if you're on the pre-diabetic list, and 1 out of 4 of you right now, that's what it is. 1 out of 4 Americans are pre-diabetic. Now, the awesome part about being pre-diabetic is that you can get off that freaking list. It means that you have the ability to get off that list of pre-diabetics. You do not want to go fully down the path of type 2 diabetes. Take it from me. 84 million Americans, that's a scary number to me. I'm not kidding. That means that 1 out of 4 Americans are pre-diabetic. But like I say, the good news about that is you can get off that list. You are not, if you're pre-diabetic, that means you can get off the diabetic list. I tell my clients the same thing every single time. If you're overweight, obese, it doesn't matter. 10%. Take off 10%. If you can take off 10% of your body weight and you're obese and you're pre-diabetic, you may very well take yourself right off that pre-diabetics list. Let me repeat that. 10% is going to help you in phenomenal ways. 10% off your body. So let's just say you're where I was, 250 pounds. My BMI was 38 at that time. I was obese and still smoking cigarettes. The first thing I did was put together a plan, and being an information technology computer guy at that time, obviously I did a lot of research on the type 2 diabetes and quitting smoking, and I got all of the resources. I bought books. I really got myself prepared
prepared to get rid of the cigarettes. One of the things that really helped over my career in information technology, putting together training plans and business plans and things of that nature, was I was able to put together a step-by-step plan and formula for me that by the end of that plan, the end of the time period that I had set, I was a full-time non-smoker. And the last cigarette I had was July 15th, 2005. And you darn well bet I remember it. You do something for 31 years and then you suddenly quit it because I went cold turkey, but I used the gum, so as a nicotine replacement, and I highly recommend the gum or the patch. But going cold turkey, just flat out cold turkey, more often than not, people fail. So I fully support some kind of nicotine replacement, but it has to be short term. You hear me? Think somebody has a question? Thanks, Merch. How you doing? I always try to pop in on your broadcasts when I can. Anyhow, like I was saying, if you can take off 10%, seriously, like me, when I was 252 pounds here, right? My BMI was 38. I had just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. My doctor said, you make changes or you can start picking out toes, fingers that you don't like because they're going to cut them off. Diabetic neuropathy is nothing to play around with. He said you can lose your vision and eventually it will kill you if you leave it untreated. That is another thing that really bothers me. 330 million Americans right now. Of those 330 million Americans, 30 million of us have already been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. 30 million, that includes me, type 2 diabetic. Of the 30 million of us who know we have this disease, 1/3 aren't doing anything about it. Yeah, 10 million people know that they have type 2 diabetes. 10 million people know they have this disease. That means that they've already been diagnosed. Their doctor has already had the same conversation my doctor had with me about losing toes, losing fingers, losing vision, and dying, and they're still not doing anything about it because they hope for the best. That's crazy. That's just crazy. That's why when I got hit, and remember, I was 46 when I got diagnosed with the type 2 diabetes, and in my 31st year, just hitting my 31st year smoking cigarettes, I started at 15 full time, had my first cigarette at about 13, 14. But full time by 15, I was a pack a day smoker until I was 46 years old. I did not do myself any favors, But at 46, just turned 46, hit with type 2 diabetes, 252 pounds, and still smoking, I knew I had to make the changes. Even, as the doctor said it to me, I'm like, well, yeah, I like my toes. I like my fingers. I like my eyesight. Generally, I like being on the planet. So for me, the thought of any of those things happening was just unacceptable. I was fortunate. I was able to fall back on my Marine Corps training as an old ground pounder. I know that I can walk till the cows come home, literally. So I have been power walking for nearly 13 years. They now call it Zen walking. But for me, that's what I figured out I needed to do to find something that I was going to be able to do every day, no matter where I was, no matter what the conditions, right? And if I don't have the ability to go outside in the rain, I'll get on a treadmill. I've got things at the house. I'll find them at the gym. I will find a way to get my cardio in. For me, it's now, I guess you could say it's an addiction, a good addiction. But I am not a happy guy if I'm not able to get my cardio done. But then again, for me, I can only do my cardio normally, most of the time out on my own because I'm a singer at the same time. So I have the headset on and I'll sing at the top of my lungs. Some of my neighbors, funny enough, find it funny. And one lady told me, no, don't stop. It's great. Just keep going. Bottom line is, if you're sedentary, if you sit around all the time, if you are not watching your diet to the point where you're gaining weight, doesn't matter how old you are,
you can start making positive changes anytime. 20 years old, 40 years old, 60 years old, 80 years old, 100 years old. I don't care how old you are. You can start making positive changes anytime you want. It's never too late, as the guy told me the other day his father thought. You guys have any questions, please hit me up. Come on, Judy, hit me up. Challenge me with a question. Capture a few moments on the wall, would you guys? Trying to get the wall filled up too and get some more lights in. Hey, Birch, I want to co-host with you sometime. I think that would be a blast. So if you want to do that, let me know. Anyhow, I want to make sure you guys understand life itself takes a little bit of effort. I mean, keeping a positive attitude takes a bit of effort. Staying healthy, physically takes a bit of effort. Staying healthy emotionally takes a lot of effort sometimes, especially when you have your heart trampled on. And we all have our heart trampled on time and again. But at the same time, just keep in mind, when things are at their worst, they can always get better, right? When it's raining, eventually the sun's going to come out. I have found, and I actually put it in the book. There's a chapter that I put in the book, Pushing Double Nickels, the advantages of being an optimist. And there really are advantages of being an optimist. Seriously. One, you get to stick to it. You get the stick to it attitude. You tend to be more, perseverance is more of an asset to you than most people. Being an optimist, you have a general overall better feeling, well-being. Your blood pressure can be lower. Your long-term outlook is better. Your relationships are better. As an optimist, people tend to seek you out more. It's just a general positive outlook that the glass is always half full. Always half full. It's never half empty. A challenge is something that you should look forward to, something that you want to have a way to overcome. And that's going to lead me to the last thing I want to talk to you guys about here today, because I've been chatting at you for a while and nobody's hit me up with any good questions yet. Well, there's been a couple, but it's been a while. And I hate to sit here and just yammer at you all day, but I can, literally. If you get me on my soapbox about becoming healthy and being healthy at any age, I will talk to you about it until the cows come home. That's why I plan on being on here pretty much daily if I can, and help as many people as I can this year. Mine is a MLK every day is my outlook this year. The cigarette smoking, I'm going to help people do that for free all year long. So you just hit me up on my email, pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com. If somebody wants to capture this, that'd be great, so they can share it out. Because seriously, you cannot get your health in order if you're still smoking cigarettes. So if anybody wants to quit, I will help them do it for free. They have to be ready here and here. I can't make you want to quit. The world's best personal trainer, can't yell at you to make you want to quit cigarettes. But for those people that are ready, especially if they've been hit with, a diagnosis of prediabetes, anything like that, if you're ready to quit the cigarettes, this year I'm helping quit for free. So email me, all right? You email me at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com. I will help you quit the cigarettes for free. That's my give back this year. Pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com. I will help you quit the cigarettes for free. If you need help putting together a custom program to help you lose weight or even gain weight, my website is personaltrainingwithbrad.com, personaltrainingwithbrad.com, and I will also work with your doctor. So if you go in for your annual physical and you guys aren't happy with your numbers, and I'll tell you again specifically, your BMI, I want to know what your body mass index is. Your blood pressure, are you on blood pressure medication? Is your blood pressure where it needs to be? I want to know your cholesterol levels, your high, your low, your triglycerides, right? Are they where they need to be, or are you having issues with possible plaque forming in your arterial walls? Remember, The leading cause of death in America is still CAD, you guys, coronary arterial disease. And that's basically all the plaque lining up inside the walls of your arteries in your heart and in your brain that gives us heart attacks and strokes. So sedentarianism, being sedentary, is just another way that helps build that up over time. So the main goal to me is the balance, keeping the balance. Once you have the balance going in your life, then that's physically, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, the whole ball of wax. From that point on, it's fairly simple. If you need help getting that balance, losing weight, and that's the big issue right now, and take it from the guy who knows. And remember, that was me, and that was only 2010. So, and remember, for those of us that need to lose weight, you didn't gain weight overnight. I didn't gain weight overnight. You're not going to lose weight overnight. It's not a quick fix. Ignore these stupid television commercials. You don't need to go in for diet programs and diet fads and lap band surgeries and the one where they staple your stomach. I mean, you don't need to do that. Even if you're obese, like I was, my BMI was 38, 10%. Just taking 10% off is going to make a monumental difference. And hopefully, for the 84 million Americans who are currently pre-diabetic, and that should scare the heck out of everybody, because that means if it's not you, then it's some friends or family, right? I mean, that literally every one of us should care about this number. Out of 300 plus, 330 million Americans, 1 out of 4. Right, and that's up from 72 million not too long ago. I mean, I thought that number was bad when I got the report, but this year's report is just insane. So 84 million pre-diabetic. But again, and remember, this is the important thing. Pre-diabetic doesn't mean diabetic, right? Pre-diabetic means you can still get the freak off that list. Okay, 10% off your body weight. If you're overweight, even if you're obese like I was, just taking 10% off is going to help in monumental ways, not just in getting the prediabetes under control and hopefully getting you off the list, but your energy levels, the amount of stress that you put on your heart and your other organs, the amount of insulin that your pancreas has to create to regulate those blood sugars. Anyhow, so the final numbers, the numbers that I want you to concern yourself with and the ones that you need to get in balance when you're visiting your doctor, again, your BMI, right? I want to know your blood pressure. I want to know your cholesterol levels, including your triglycerides. I want to know what your A1C level is, and that is the 60-day notice of how you're processing blood sugars. Right, that's the long term. That tells your doctor exactly how healthy you are as far as processing blood sugars through your system. If, like me, you are high A1C numbers, and my blood glucose levels when I started jabbing my fingers were 300 plus, and normal blood glucose should be between 60 and 100, 120 at the out, I mean 130 after a meal, but it should come back down. So 60 to 100 is normal for blood sugars. I was 300 plus, I think 380 at one of the readings. And the A1C level, I'm amazed, that I wasn't in a diabetic coma by the time I finally got that lab done in 2005. So remember them. 10% off, can help with all of these numbers. The last number besides BMI, right? So let's review them again. I want to know the BMI. You can figure it out now. Go to any calculator, the cdc.gov website. Just go Google it, BMI calculator or body mass index calculator. You can go to the cdc.gov /BMI, and I believe the calculator is there. But you can Google it and go find your body mass index, and you'll know yourself right now. You can go find out right this minute, am I healthy, in the healthy range for my BMI? When my BMI was 38, I was obese. Again, scary picture. Obese. Obese Brad. Obese, still cigarette smoking Brad at that time. All I had to do, had I known that I was getting diabetes, had I had any symptoms prior to getting the full-blown diabetes. And that's the really scary part about pre-diabetes. You don't always have any symptoms. I mean, the symptoms when you're going into full-blown diabetes, excessive thirst, constantly thirsty, and of course, constantly hitting the restroom. I could not get enough to drink, and I could not get to the restroom enough. I mean, it was a vicious circle. My vision improved. Your vision can actually improve if you're going into diabetes because of the pressure. And that can turn into retinal neuropathy and make you blind eventually if you don't treat it. And this one was interesting. The vision didn't get worse; it got better. That was because I was nearsighted. So anyhow, my ophthalmologist figured that one out for me. So you get these numbers under control, and the final one that I want to talk about is your resting heart rate. Besides your BMI, that's important. You can figure that out right now, figure out if you're healthy or unhealthy. You know, your blood pressure, naturally. I take blood pressure meds, and have for many years. Right? Cholesterol, right? How's your cholesterol levels? Are you on cholesterol medication? Right? A1C, how are your blood sugars? You know, are you pre-diabetic? Are you one of the 4 Americans out there right now, as I'm talking to you, who is a pre-diabetic person? And remember, there aren't always symptoms for that. You don't always have the symptoms that I had when I was going into full-blown type 2 diabetes with monstrous sugar levels, A1C, and daily glucose levels. You don't get those. But here's some surefire indicators that you may be a pre-diabetic. If you have not gone in and had your lab work done, had your blood test done for A1C, but you still think, well, what are the odds? What are the possibilities? I could be one of those 4 people. Well, my friend, if you look anything like I did, that's one of the easiest ways to figure it out. Anyone who is getting obese, overweight, that increases your risk for diabetes tenfold. So I can look at someone who walks up and goes, yeah, I need to take off 100 pounds. And I'll go, well, I certainly understand that because I had to do the same thing. But hopefully, if we get them on the pre-diabetes list, before you get into full-blown diabetes, you can get off that list. You can take off 100 pounds and get off the diabetes list, not have to take daily medication. I take 2 different kinds of medication a day. My pancreas is now only half active. But those of you who are in the 84 million range, 84 million people that are pre-diabetic, to me, that's good news, because that means that you're not stuck with the sentence of becoming a full-blown diabetic. I have an 18-year-old tabby cat who's kind of losing her mind. Cass. Cat people out there, you know, they are very independent, and as they get older, they get stranger. And as they get really older, they get really stranger. So it's constant. She's always talking. Anyhow, if you guys haven't fanned me yet, I would appreciate you going ahead and fanning me. That way, as I come back on, and I plan to be on, if I can, daily for most of this year, I want to help as many people quit smoking as possible. I want to help as many people start getting their health back on track, if you need to, as possible. And remember, balance is everything. It's not just the physical, it's the mental, it's the spiritual, it's the intellectual, it's everything, the emotional. I'm finding a lot of folks these days are eating food not because they're hungry, but because they're covering emotional issues. They're trying to comfort food that's the reason it's called comfort food. And I have my own comfort foods. For me, fried chicken, steak, meatloaf are my some of my favorite comfort foods. But remember also, and this is also good for you that need to lose weight, that doesn't mean you have to start eating cardboard, you guys. You can still eat all the foods that you like. I still eat everything that I like. It comes down to portion size. Portion size. Okay, have some pizza. A slice or 2, not the whole darn pizza. Okay, enjoy a piece of cake, not the whole cake. You with me on this? It's portion sizes. It all comes down to numbers. So I'm going to review one more time, and then I'm actually going to go eat. Every 3,500 calories that you consume, but you don't burn off in some form of energy, turns into 1 pound of fat. Now,
That's not always true if you're gaining weight on purpose and you're working with someone like me, a personal trainer or a health coach, because you have a goal for gaining weight. Wrestlers, boxers, whatever. But if you're one of the people, and 2 out of 3 Americans is currently where I was there or where I was here, either overweight or obese. 2 out of 3 Americans right now needs to lose weight. Okay? Don't deny it. It's there. I would love to snap my fingers and make it not so. Unfortunately, out of those 200 plus million Americans who are where I was, because remember, I've been there, done that, 2/3 of them are on a, 1/4 of them are on a list of pre-diabetics. They may not even know it. You may not even know it. But I can assure you, if you're overweight or where I was, obese, the odds of you being on that pre-diabetic list are very high. But again, good news is the pre-diabetic list doesn't mean that you're going to be a diabetic. That means that you can get off that list. A little bit of effort. 10% off your body weight. Let's work one exercise on this so you can understand the formula and you can apply it in your own way if you need to. I highly recommend what everybody does, and if you want to do this and email this to me, I'll talk to you about it. We can Skype. I'll help you put together a plan that's logical, that doesn't have you eating cardboard, but at least has you watching the amount you're eating and maybe getting some exercise in. Well, no, maybe getting some exercise in. So if you email me at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com, 1 week food diary. Here's what I want you to keep. I want to know, and this is say Monday through Sunday. Okay, here's what I want to know. I want to know what you ate, how much. Okay, so I had 3 cookies. Okay, I want to know the brand, Oreos, homemade, home baked, Pillsbury out of the refrigerator, freezer, whatever. I want to know what time you ate it. Okay. I want to know who you ate it with. Did you eat it at a meal with family or friends, or did you eat alone? And this is really important, I want to know why you ate it. Why did you eat at that time? Was it because you were hungry? Were you bored? You just felt like a snack, but you weren't hungry. You just wanted it, or just things are happening in your life and that's one of your stress relievers, because it's out there, believe me. So every single day for a week, I want you to track what you ate. Did it have a brand name? A cheeseburger from McDonald's, right? Or cheeseburger made at home, right? How big, how large was the portion size? I had a slice of pie, about fist size, whatever, just average it out. I want to know who you ate it with, so what you ate, how much you ate, who you ate it with, if you ate it with anybody, what time you ate it, so I know what time of day you're ingesting these calories. And then I want to know why you ate it. What was your motivation for putting the calories in at that time? Right? So you keep that diary for 1 entire week. Okay, that's your food diary. Now, in the same time, and on a separate page, and you could just get a 3-ring binder, any paper, and just write that all down. Right, a single, and I don't care what you ate. I don't care if you went to Starbucks for a latte. I don't care if you pulled out a couple things of popcorn for a snack. I want to know everything that crossed your lips. Beverages, food, everything that you ingested, because all of it counts. Okay. So what you ate, how much you ate, what was the brand name if it had any, who did you eat it with if anybody, and why did you eat it? What time and why did you eat it? What was your state of mind? What were you thinking? Hit me up as I'm telling you this, because I'm going to be heading out shortly, because I'm actually getting starving too. Hey, Node, injects. If I'm saying anything that resonates with you guys, please Appreciate the likes. Go ahead and fan me. I'm going to be on here trying to give people advice on being healthier as much as I possibly can. And again, the cigarette smoking I do for free. There's no way anybody can get their health in order if they still smoke cigarettes. I'm not talking about medical marijuana. Cigarettes. Cigarettes, there's just no way you can get your health in order if you still smoke cigarettes. So my help for smoking cigarettes is free. That's my give back. I did it last year. I did it the year before. I've helped quite a few people already. Interesting thing is, just the people that have read my book. Chapter 1 is quitting smoking, how I did it. I put in the step-by-step, how I quit the 31-year habit. Just the book has helped people quit smoking, which I found absolutely awesome. That was one of my goals. And people lose weight as well. In fact, if on Amazon you can look up pushing double nickels, and there ain't a bunch of reviews, but there's a few reviews and they're all good. So I'm proud of that. For me, if I'm able to help anybody quit smoking, if I'm able to help anybody help get their health back in order, it's awesome to me. I mean, that's my give back. I'm very fortunate that I'm still alive, that I was able to figure out the lifestyle changes that I implemented. And remember, I didn't become a personal trainer till after I retired from information technology, till after I published this book, till after I lost, 75% of the weight that I intended to lose, probably 80%. I didn't become a personal trainer until I was 56, because I wanted to get the ACE certified health coach. So I'm an ACE certified personal trainer. That was prerequisite to becoming an ACE certified health coach. Because for me, helping people become healthy as a health coach encompasses everything, not just weight loss, not just cigarette smoking, everything. The entire person, the emotional person, the physical person, the intellectual person, and yes, the spiritual person. We all have that need in us, to reach out. It doesn't matter if you're religious or just spiritual. Everybody has the need to reach out in one way or another. So I appreciate you guys spending the time with me today. I could sit here and yammer at you all day long if you let me, but I have got other things that I need to accomplish, goals. Hopefully all of you have got goals set. Remember, if you're setting goals or New Year's resolutions, they need to be SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. They have to be specific goals if they're going to be successful. But you set SMART goals, then you're going to achieve them. Remember, 10%, 10%. If you're on that pre-diabetics list, if you can get 10% off your body weight, it's not even an if, you can. And it doesn't matter how old you are. If I can start making positive changes at 46 years old, and get rid of 110 pounds naturally without surgery or diet plans or anything like that, I basically walked it off. 110 pounds, and get rid of a 31-year cigarette habit at 46. If I, the original couch potato, and computer guy, if I can do it, you can do it. I guarantee you. And the younger you are, the better. Don't wait until you get a health threat. Unfortunately, 84 million out there right now have a health threat. Many might not even know. The 84 million pre-diabetics out there, a lot of them don't even know they're pre-diabetic, and that's scary. So if you think you may be, please, please get into your doctor, get your labs done, get your physical done, get all of the numbers that I talked about. Your body mass index, we want to know. Blood pressure, we want to know. Cholesterol levels, we need to know. What is your A1C level? That's going to tell us if you're one of those folks who's on that pre-diabetes list. So please, if you don't know yet, find out. Simple step 1, right now, you can go do it right this very second. You go on any computer, go to the cdc.gov website, just go look up BMI calculator, body mass index calculator. Put in your height and your weight, follow it to the intersection on that chart, and you'll know what your BMI is. And it'll show you if you're in the healthy range or if you're overweight or where I was, obese. So please, if you haven't done it yet, I implore you, get your annual physical done with your labs. There's no way that you want to wind up with full-blown type 2 diabetes if you can get off that list. And that is the best news if you get diagnosed with pre-diabetes.
the best news is you can get off that list. So, and remember, it doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, that's irrelevant. That is really irrelevant. The human body is nuts, Chris. Yeah, Chris, if you fanned me, I'll go ahead and do it after I get off here today. Hey, JT. But seriously, it doesn't matter how old you are. Me, mid 40s. I didn't even become a personal trainer till mid 50s. If I can make the changes, lifestyle changes, and keep them implemented, obviously you wouldn't hire me as a personal trainer or health coach if I still look like that, right? So any personal trainer will tell you, our first and most important client is ourselves. We have to walk the walk. So me, I do my cardio. I'm putting in at least, I'd say at least 6 hours a week for cardio, probably more. I'm doing weightlifting as well 3 times a week. I love my resistance. And I'm not talking heavy weights. My heaviest weight is a 35-pound kettlebell. And if you've never worked with a kettlebell and you want to put together an exercise program that incorporates a kettlebell, I'll help you with that. It's really awesome. Seriously, the range of motion you get and the definition that you can hit with muscles that you really don't hit all that much because of the movement and the range of motion with that kettlebell is awesome. Anyhow, personaltrainingwithbrad.com is my website, personaltrainingwithbrad.com. Anybody who's fanned me on here gets an hour for free. That's above and beyond the normal 1 hour assessment. I do a lot of my clients on Skype, spend a lot of time because believe me, when you're 250 pounds like I was, and my waist was 44, 46, I love the stretchy pants. I remember I had the stretchy pants. When you're 250 plus pounds or you're just overweight in general, the last thing you want to do sometimes is to walk into a health club where all these healthy people are working out and the little person comes bopping up to you and going, "Hey, can I help you?" Little buff person. I mean, just to say I was self-conscious is an understatement. And even now, there are times when I can still look in the mirror and I still see Big Brad, and I know darn well I could get back there if I don't stay balanced and stay on track. So anyhow, that's what I do. I help people get back in balance and stay on track and get their lives back in order and hopefully longer. For me, the objective is to lead a happier, healthier, longer life. And last thing before I go, and this really bugs me, you guys, and if someone wants to capture this, it's kind of sad. The second year in a row, lifespans have shortened. Let me repeat that. Seriously, remember, it's 2018. We're in a technological revolution with medicine that is coming. But at the exact same time, for the second year in a row, lifespans have shortened. They've decreased. That's unacceptable. Seriously. I tell all of my kids, and my kids are all millennials, I expect them to live to 100 plus without wearing diapers and drooling on themselves. I mean, seriously. We will have the ability within the next 25 years to end aging, to end the aging process. We will have figured out how to stop the death of the telomeres on the ends of our cells. Once we're able to figure that out, we can literally stop the aging process. But that's not going to do us any good if we're eating ourselves to death, if we're sitting around to the point where our hearts are exploding because we're not getting any exercise. Right? I don't mean to yell at you. Well, yeah, I do a little. But we can't live like this. We cannot be a sedentary society. We all need to get off our butts and get things going. Seriously, if you are like me and you need help getting the weight off, yeah, you can hire me. I'll help you get it off. My job, as I see it, for all of my clients, is to make you your own personal trainer, to turn you into your own health coach. Yeah, you want to pay me 35, 45, 50 bucks an hour, fine. It helps pay my bills and keep a roof over my head. But I feel successful. To me, I feel successful if after 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months at the outside, depending on the frequency of our training program, right, I have turned you into your own health coach. So you can motivate yourself. You're self-motivated, right? Turn you into your own personal trainer. So by the time that you're finished working with me, you literally don't need me anymore. Okay. And yeah, you might say, well, Brad, isn't that a way to put yourself out of business? I go, no, there's 200 million Americans right now who are either overweight or obese, where I was. One of the keys to my success, and I have been fairly successful at this, is the fact that I've been there. I've done that. I understand what it's like. I understand what it takes, especially if you get hit with a health threat on top of it, especially if you're still smoking cigarettes as well, especially if you're sitting around all the time and just putting on pounds and just getting, as I was, fat and happy. And believe me, if I getting hit with type 2 diabetes was probably saved my life. Because if I had not, I would have probably kept on smoking, kept on eating, kept on sitting around in computer training until my heart exploded. And it probably would have happened. Remember, 160,000 of us perish every day, 90,000 in our sleep. And I've got a fairly strong theory about some of it. Now, I won't scare you about that today, but get off your butts, get moving. If you haven't done your labs and your work with your doctor, your primary, do it. It is the single most important thing that you can do is to take control of your health, to take control of what's happening with your body physically. It's like your car. Like I say, if you want your car to last, you got to change the oil, you've got to lube, you've got to filter, you've got to rotate the tires, you've got to make sure the belts are good. You have to do maintenance on your car if you want it to last, right? The older the car gets, the more maintenance it needs. Same thing with the human condition. If you're already in shape, and I'm going to leave you with this, if you are already in shape and all of the numbers that I'm talking about, your body mass index, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your triglycerides, your A1C, your blood sugars, your resting heart rate. I want to know. If you don't know what your resting heart rate is, find out. Best time to take it is first thing in the morning when you very first wake up, before you start moving around. That's the best time to take your resting heart rate. Okay. And if you don't have, look it up, or email me, text me, just reach out to me and I'll tell you how to do it. It's fairly simple. But being sedentary, that's what's going to get everybody. Okay. If you're sitting around all the time, you need to get up. You need to figure out, what is it that's going to motivate me? What's going to move me? What's going to get me going? Anyhow, I have been at this for a while. I appreciate you guys watching and listening. I hope somebody has learned something. Especially the most positive thing is that you can get better at any time, at any age. It's never too late to start a exercise program or a health program, or try and start taking off some pounds slowly, naturally. Don't fall for the diet programs. Don't listen to these silly people on television. Lose weight fast. No, you didn't gain weight fast, so you're not going to lose weight fast. 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's what I tell my folks. 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's healthy. Even at 1 pound a week, that's 52 pounds in a year. Can you imagine what 52 pounds off would feel like? I know. I went from 252 down to 205. That's what 205 looked like for me, down from 252 here. So I remember what it felt like. I remember what it felt like just getting 10% off. But 205 there. So I understand, and I understand exactly what it takes motivation-wise to get yourself off your butt, get yourself moving, and get your health under control. Start getting the numbers that you need to have under control, all the ones that you should be talking to with your doctor. Those are the exact same ones as a health coach that I'm going to want to work with. And remember, I work with doctors as well. So if you've been hit with prediabetes or even full-blown type 2 diabetes, I put together programs for folks like that as well. For me, understanding what you're putting in your body, nutrition-wise, understanding, reading those labels that you see in the store, it's extremely important to know what the difference is between the saturated fats and the polys and the monos. Saturated fat in and of itself is the leading cause of arteriosclerosis. It's our diets, are killing us. Being sedentary, sitting around, and our diets, that's what's killing us. Anyhow, do me a favor. If you haven't fanned me yet, please fan me now. I plan to be on here pretty much every day and talk about this stuff, answer questions. I've been helping people lately. I spoke with someone who was anorexic. I helped them the other day. I spoke with a gentleman who's ready to quit smoking, and he reached out to me, and I'm going to be helping him get rid of the cigarettes. So, yay, awesome, awesome. Anything that you want to do. Oh, and I also helped a gentleman who's talking about gaining weight. He actually is underweight and wants to gain weight, and so that's a formula as well. So fan me, anything that I can help with, even on the intellectual, the emotional. I mean, just a balance. Being a balanced person covers everything. I mean, that's the entire psyche. So anything I can help with, personaltrainingwithbrad.com, personaltrainingwithbrad.com, or pushingdoublenickels at yahoo.com. All right. Now, fan me on this, and somebody may want to capture this. Anybody that wants the digital book, they can get it free. Just reach out, say, hey, send me the ebook, and I will send you the digital version of this. That's got the chapters on quitting smoking, losing weight, getting in shape at any age, and managing chronic pain. I tried to cover as much of the human condition in this book as I possibly could. Book number 2 coming out late this year is on my favorite animals, which are, I'll show you again. These guys. Well, one of them, I think she went in they got a bed in the closet so they can keep me company. Anyhow, Amber. Oh, I thought it was Amber. Amber was on the other day. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Naltz, Chris. You guys are busy out there. Anyhow, again, I appreciate you watching, listening into this old personal trainer yammer about becoming more balanced. I always have a positive outlook. For me, the glass is always half full. That has really allowed me to overcome some pretty big obstacles in my life. Not everybody is blessed with that, but it is something that you can learn over time. Being an optimist is something that is a skill that you can learn. So if you aren't an optimist now, then you can certainly become one. But in the meantime, I will share my optimism with you as I'm getting ready to check off and remind you, you're perfect as you are. Seriously. It doesn't matter if you're fat, if you're thin, if you're skinny, if you're tall, if you're young, if you're old. I don't care what your issues are. The human condition comes with issues. All of us have issues. Every single day we wake up with issues. Every single day I'll wake up with back pain and will probably the rest of my life. That's part of the human condition. But we have the ability every single day when we wake up to decide, is it going to be a good day? Is it going to be a bad day? Am I going to let the challenges and the issues that I face, am I going to let them take control and determine how I feel that day? Am I going to let those things get me down? Or am I going to say, all right, so yeah, I have issues, but I'm still going to make it a good day, darn it. I'm still going to get up. I'm still going to be positive. I'm still going to do things to help improve my life, be more balanced, whatever that may be for you. My clients come to me on all different parts of the path. What I do isn't a cookie cutter solution. So everybody comes to me at a certain point. I simply evaluate where they're at the path and put together a custom program to balance them from that point, what I call a healthy living plan. So if like me, they're mid 40s, cigarette smoking, obese, hit with type 2 diabetes. Okay, so I know where they're at on the path. I know what point they come to me at on the path, and I know what goals we need to get them to. One, to get all their numbers in order, to get their cigarettes gone. I mean, we know what the goals are, and it's just from there putting together the plan. And I work with the client. We put together the plan, and it's always changing as we need to modify it. We put together the plan that's going to let them succeed and hit those goals, smart goals. All right. But every day you have the option when you get up. Every day you have the opportunity. Is the glass half full? Is the glass half empty? That's your choice. Every one of us has that choice. So when you have that choice, I say, hey, go for the good. Why not? I mean, we have the ability. And yes, becoming optimistic, if you're not an optimist now, yes, that's a skill you can learn. Every day you can wake up and practice it. Every day you can wake up and be mindful about, all right, yeah, okay, so somebody broke my heart last week. That's not going to affect me the rest of my life, right? Something good is going to happen out of it. Remember, the universe rushes to fill a vacuum. So if you get rid of a bad habit, right, like cigarettes, the universe will rush to fill it with a good habit. The best thing to do when you get rid of a bad habit is to fill that void with a good habit. Simple stuff. I know it sounds simple. It isn't, but it sounds simple. But if you work on it and you practice it and you start making the lifestyle changes necessary, eventually it becomes built in. And then you're not worrying every day about, do I have prediabetes? Am I overweight? I mean, at that point, once you have control and you know how to read your nutrition labels and you still eat the food you like to eat, but in moderation, in proper portion sizes, you're at least getting in a minimum amount of exercise that you need to maintain the physical form. Like I say, the human body is just like your car. You have to maintain it. You've got to do certain things to make sure it's going to keep running. Right? You don't do those, eventually it's going to break down. The car will die. The same thing goes for the human body. So every day is a chance to be more positive. Every day is a chance to be better. I intend on coming on here every day and remind you of that fact. If you need help quitting smoking, you can reach out to me anytime, and I'll help you put together a 90-day program so that at the end of 90 days, that monkey is off your back. You can't start getting your health in order if you still smoke cigarettes, bottom line. If you're like me, if you're obese, you're overweight, you want my help putting together a program and getting you off that pre-diabetes list, if you think you're on there, personaltrainingwithbrad.com. Personaltrainingwithbrad.com. Fan me on here and just put a note in there. I'll look anyway. Any fans on YouNow are going to get an hour of my time for free, and that's above and beyond the initial consultation I do for free, because I'm not going to let you hire me and pay me any money if I don't think I can do you any good. But if I know I can do you some good, sure. I guarantee you I'm worth every dime. Somebody who's already been there and done that has got a lot more empathy and understands a whole lot more than somebody who's never been overweight or never been obese and in their 20s went and became a personal trainer because it sounded like a good thing they wanted to do. Nothing against, my cohorts, nothing against my compatriots, my, fellow personal trainers, who are absolutely awesome. But having been someone who's been there, who's been heavy, and smoked for 31 years and had to figure out, how am I going to get my freaking diabetes under control? I've had to face these challenges. I've overcome these challenges and got certified and trained so that I can help others overcome these challenges. So for me, the ability to come on here on this platform and interact with you guys, and just the few weeks I've been doing this now, I've helped quite a few people on quite a few issues, everything from anorexia to weight loss, weight gain, quitting smoking, even emotional issues, because being balanced, a lot of being balanced is in here. So that's important. So like I said, if you haven't fan me now. That way, when I'm back on, you can follow along as I come back on. I come on and I usually try and do some stretching. Tomorrow I will be on doing stretching, and I've got to do my weights. So you guys can actually watch me get my weights done tomorrow as I do my stretching, and hopefully answer any questions you've got. I'm also going to be looking for a few folks who want to co-host with me this month. I want to do a couple folks who want to co-host with me. Maybe if you've got a challenge or something that you want to share with everyone, you can come on and we can talk about it. Bottom line is, we're all in this together. Seriously. and that's something I put in my book, and this is something that I really truly believe. The book, we're all pretty much the same, 99.5% genetic code, of the 19,200 chromosomes that we share globally. I mean, every single human being, we share 17,000 plus. I say, thank God for the differences. I'd hate to have a whole world running around looking like me, but we're all pretty much the same thing. Look at it like this. Seriously, look at it like this. We're on this ship, okay? Big ship, planet Earth. If a asteroid or comet came out from our blind spot, which is behind the sun, okay? And we're talking interstellar space, interstellar speed, extinction, mass extinction event coming our way, 90 days, nothing we can do, right? Remember, we've already suffered 5 mass extinctions on this planet. We've barely got by the skin of our nails already a few times. But let's just suppose, this is just a supposition, right? Here we are, 7 trillion of us, 7 billion of us on this planet, right? And all of a sudden, the scientists say, hey, there's a big rock that just appeared out from behind the sun. It's going to hit us someplace, and it's 5 miles wide, pretty much going to devastate the entire planet. Okay. Now, this is just a supposition. Don't get scared, you guys. But at that point, when everybody realizes that in 90 days, there may not be anything, anybody, anywhere, anyhow, all of the little things that we use to divide us, all of the things that we use as reasons to hate each other or dislike each other or distrust each other, all of the things like that will become so insignificant, trivial. I mean, who gives a poop at that point if you're a Christian or Jew or Buddhist or yellow or black or green or live in, Uganda or Siberia? At that point, we're all going down on this ship together, right? Every one of us. There is no point on this planet Earth that's not going to get affected by a 5-mile wide asteroid coming at interstellar speed, right? Why can't we start acting like that now? Seriously. Why can't we start understanding that we're all in this together? Every one of us. And it bothers the hell out of me when people don't get this. So, you have the choice on a daily basis. Are you going to make yourself better? Are you going to do things to make your planet better? Are you going to help your friends and your family? Are you going to do enough being healthy that you're going to be sticking around on this planet as long as you should? I guarantee you, if I stayed obese, if I'd have kept smoking those cigarettes, I wouldn't be around right now. I probably wouldn't be sitting here yammering at you about becoming healthy, becoming balanced, keeping a positive, optimistic outlook, and trying to understand we're all in this together, every one of us. You can't separate yourself from your neighbor. I don't care if your neighbor's here or halfway around the world. We're all in this together. Anyhow, if you haven't fanned me yet, please do so. I will be back on here as much as I can to talk about health issues. Quitting smoking, I help you do that for free. Losing weight, getting healthy, managing your chronic pain, managing your type 2 diabetes, working with issues that affect all of us on a daily basis. Because we are all in this together. And being able to share the experience that I have, losing weight, quitting smoking. I have a lot of lower back pain, 100 million of us do. I have type 2 diabetes. Now 30 million of us are diagnosed. 84 million are pre-diabetic. So for the people that I can help get off that pre-diabetes list, woo, that will be an awesome target. And think about this when you go out today. Pay it forward, literally. Remember, that person that you're looking at on the bus, across the street, on the sidewalk, they're not a stranger, they're a family member. We're in this together. Anyhow, have a great day, you guys. I hope to see you all tomorrow. If you haven't fanned me yet, please do so. Hope you learned something. Get off your butts for one thing and start moving. Have a great day, you guys.